What's on, where, and when. It's the Talk of Nelson. Talk Nelson Radio.
Welcome to Summer Sport, where we cover off what is happening in summer sport right across the Nelson Tasman region. Joining me are my co-hosts Les Edwards and Paul Bryden. Welcome back, lads.
Yeah, good afternoon to
Good
you,
afternoon,
mate.
Chris. Different time of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's
The pub
just on patron time, really.
O'Shennigan's is open.
It's open and got a couple of patrons in here.
It looks
as well.
very lively, very bright.
Yeah, so there'll be a few more tradies coming in. They'll be lining up at the bar soon.
We'll have to have a debrief afterwards, won't we?
I wish.
Our very special guest is Don Glennie, who is the president of the Nelson Softball Association. Welcome, Glenn, but they call you, what was it, Duck, was it?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for having me. My nickname came around a long time ago.
Is it?
When I was just probably about 4 or 5 years old. And that's as far as I'm going to tell. But it's also started at the same time as I actually started playing softball. 1964 at Parnell Primary in Auckland. I grew up there, floundered around a few schools. Finally, when I'm going to a little school called Edenvale, where I was about 10 years old. And after that, we shifted to Blockhouse Bay.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went to Blockhouse Bay Intermediate, it was my first real test of my softball prowess and knowledge. A guy by the name of Paul Rogers, a legend of Auckland softball, Rambler softball, and New Zealand softball, who was away in the 68 World Series, put on a pitcher catcher clinic. And I was just blown away. And I went, I want to be just like him. Earlier on, I got to watch him play as a kid growing up, him and Barry Leather. And then one day, my dad, Tom Milner, said, the club you're with at the moment, Fire Brigade, is folded. You're going to United. I went, United? I said, yeah. He said, it's at Spalding Park. Spalding Park? Yeah, I want to go there. Because I can see the Paul Rogers and the Barry Leathers and all those legends of softball. So I went up going to United as a 13-year-old. Young boy, had some fun, learnt, didn't have a coach, got a coach. His brother was Alan Russell, the New Zealand player, captain of New Zealand. He taught us the fundamentals. And one of the big fundamentals about softball in those days growing up as a kid was you've got to have fun. If you're not having fun, don't do it.
Well, it's like any sport, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. So we had fun. So Roy made it fun for us to play and to enjoy watching other games. About 1976 was my first real big test of softball. I was asked to be part of a ground crew for the Vic Guth. Now, the Vic Guth, probably you have not heard down here, but Vic Guth was an American soldier that stayed on after the war at Avondale. And he built the United Club up from nothing to something.
Right.
So United Club's still going.
United's still going right
Ramblers.
now. Ramblers still going, yes.
What's the big club in Auckland now?
They're both the biggest.
Yeah.
I think Ramblers are the national champs from last year. And Auckland United got knocked out about they got fourth, I think they did.
The Ramblers play at Keith Hay Park. No.
Keith Hay Park is Eden Roskell.
Okay.
Where the Rambler, this is a true story, where the Rambler Softball Club is right now, it used to be called Gibraltar Board Park, which is just by St. Luke's.
Right.
As a kid, I used to ride my bike over at Gibraltar Board Park. Now it's called Warren Freer Park, and it's a really nice complex for Rambler softball.
Brilliant.
So, so you had the early years around the kind of the intermediate age or
Yes.
early college. So when did you go on to play slightly more serious softball, you could say?
When I turned about 20, 21, I was on the verge of breaking into the Auckland United team.
Yeah.
But I never quite made it. So they had a system that you must train to be better. So I was in the training squad for the A team, but I played reserves, which played before. So I played my game, then I stood by.
Right.
And so you learned. And the way we learned, you watch and you listen and you do what you're told. And if you didn't, you got shoved out the other way.
Yeah.
Wasn't until about 80, I don't know, probably 83, 84, I really started getting, hey, this is good. This is going to be fun. And I started taking more of the coach's role, listening to the coaches more often and taking in the different plays and the different ways you actually train. softball's trained differently to cricket or different to rugby league. But fundamentally, you still got to run, you still got to get fit. And that's the part that I actually quite liked. Was the fitness.
What position did you play?
Back then I was a pitcher till I was 17, then I took on catcher.
Okay.
So I went from one to the other.
How's your fingers?
All broken. My knees are broken now too.
Is that right?
It happens. But I enjoyed catching because I was in control.
Yeah.
Whatever I
You're
called
calling the plays, aren't you?
calling the plays. So, and then I made sure that I was the fittest in the team, and I had to train the hardest to make sure everyone else kept up with me.
Would that be the best view of the game?
Yeah.
Have
Other than the umpire.
Yeah,
True. And you got to have an arm. Basically, it's that crouch position. And if they go, it's straight to second, isn't it? So you got to have an arm on you.
Certainly do. And I had an okay arm.
Yeah.
I didn't have what they call a rocket, but I got it there.
But it was the ability to throw that ball crouched,
Yes.
almost, isn't it? In
Yes.
one motion.
in one motion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is what I'm trying to teach our young catchers now is to throw off your knees.
Yes.
As you come
yes.
forward, get down your knees and actually throw the ball.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
the one thing that impresses me about softball and baseball is the way they throw the ball. Because I played cricket, you see, and you can't beat softballs.
No.
My softball's a bigger ball than a baseball, but my word, they can throw it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great arms,
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah, we've had some really good Black Sox players.
Yeah.
And White Sox players. They could probably throw the ball from the outfield fence to home plate on the full, and just at a good velocity, just straight there. It's actually nice to watch.
So being a catcher, did that also help pique your interest in coaching?
Most certainly, because I'm a good listener. I like to watch and learn, and then with being the catcher, if somebody else wanted to give it a go, no, it's my job. I want to be here. You want to get better than me. You have to be better than me. And then one thing led to another. I shifted from Auckland to Wellington to try and grow my softball brain. That was about 1987. So I went and played for a club called Tawa. The coaching staff were okay. The social life was fantastic, but I didn't learn a lot more about softball. So I went to Cardinals in 87 under Dave Sorensen.
Hutt Valley.
Hutt Valley,
Right.
yeah. Dave's fantastic.
legend.
Fantastic coach. He will talk to you about any scenario, any play you wanted to know. It was fantastic. And his assistant, Basil McLean, was in the 76 World Series team with him. And just both of them together, I started learning. It's like, yes. And then I got a phone call. I need to come back home to Auckland. I had a better job than what I had. So I went up there, back up home to Auckland for a couple more years, and then shifted back down to Wellington about 2 or 3 years later. 99 come around, and I was really getting a grasp of everything. And with the coaching and that, I coached Johnsonville. Of all teams, they were looking for a head coach. So I went there. It's went to Johnsonville. And we had 4 junior Black Sox players. And they were the stable part of the whole team. We just didn't have a number one strike pitcher. If we had one of those, we'd probably finished a lot higher than what we did. Went off to the Nationals in 99.
Was that always at the Hut in those days?
No,
it did travel around. Did
It traveled around. So
Right.
this was in Waikato. So we
Right.
got there, drove up to Waikato, played
Yep.
at Restor's Park. Then a friend of mine up there said, "Look, I'm off to a tournament next week. You want to play?" I went, "Sure, I'll play." Went down to Christchurch and played. 99 that was. I met a girl down there.
Oh, that's handy.
It is. Never been to Nelson.
Handy or handbrake. Yeah.
No, we never call that a handbrake, just in case she's watching or listening. And that's how I became to come to Nelson. It was
Excellent.
because of Nikki
So she originally was from Nelson.
from
right.
here, yes.
Right.
So I
okay.
rang Eric Eden from ET Engineering, who was the president of that time, and said, "Eric, I need this lady's number, and I'll mention her name later." He gave me the number. I phoned her. Says, "Hi, it's me, Duck." She goes, "Hello." I said, "Can I come and see you?" She said, "Sure." I arrived 2 weeks later. Never went back to Wellington.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, been here, moved here. What a beautiful town.
And
Been here
that's it. But since then, is that right?
25 years.
Wow, how's that?
I've been here. Came here. No one knew me. Took over some trainings for the women, for the men, with the Waimea Club when I first arrived. After that, I went to United, where I became the president of United. I've been the president ever since. For that 24 years, I've been president there now, and seen some players fantastic players come through the grades.
Mm.
Absolutely wonderful players. And that's what keeps me going. It's just to see the smiles.
Petey,
Todd, which one?
Gunner's boy,
Yeah. Gavin.
Gavin.
Gavin plays over in Poirua.
Yeah.
Good sort.
So you're president of Nelson softball now,
President of Nelson Softball. This is my third year.
third year in charge.
Third year in charge.
It's a big role. Is it a paying job? You don't have to tell me. No,
No, it's all voluntary.
all voluntary.
Yeah.
Good on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I rang him for the interview, I said, "Yeah, would you be available for interview?" He said, "Well, look, just to let you know that I drive a truck every day, so I'm up at 4 a.m, and then I drive over the hill, and then I come back, and then I coach 6 softball teams. So, yeah. So when are you thinking?"
3:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah, how about 3:30? Okay, I can fit you in.
Yeah.
It's a busy man.
Yeah,
busy man.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So what got you into the administration at the United side of things and then progressing to the Softball Association?
You could call it my background with my stepdad, Tom Milner. He was the vice president of Auckland Softball. He was on the Auckland Rugby Union board, so he was always at meetings and doing things. And one thing led to another, and soon enough, a lot of the meetings were actually held at home. So we had the president of Auckland Softball there, the vice president which was Tom, the head chief umpire, the chief scorer. They would have meetings at our place. So you listen and you learn. You know, I thought, well, hey, when I finish playing, I want to do those sort of things.
Mm.
And now I'm here. And
Yeah.
and it's because of Tom Milner. And unfortunately, he's actually passed on. In fact, 15 years ago today, he actually passed on.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, so what about that day? Yeah, Tom, I'll be thinking of you later on.
Yeah, that's right. And some of the other people we've interviewed when they've been in administration, it's awfully often in the DNA, isn't it? It's obviously past family members that have been involved in administration. So how did you go from president of United to the Nelson Softball Association? Just put up your hand, did you? And...
Well, there was they've been talking of a new board coming into it. About 3 years ago, the old board decided to step aside.
Yeah.
So we had an AGM, which we have to do, and people were looking at me to be the leader. And I thought about it. I thought, well, I'm doing an okay job with United. I could probably do the same sort of job for Nelson.
Mm.
So when I put my hand up, they said, "Yes, you're in." Done. So I'm the president. Nikki's the secretary.
Right.
We've now got 2 people that do
Is
treasury.
this the same Nikki from Christchurch?
It's the same,
the same
Nikki
one.
Bunbury. Yeah, I'll be talking about her shortly.
Mm.
Her vision keeps me going within it. So to be the president, it's a hard job because you've got to try and please everybody. But at the end of the day, we're here for one reason: that's to play softball.
Mm.
Well, that's what it's all about: growing numbers and make sure people play the game and
Yeah.
participation. So the softball's based out at Saxton's. Because
Saxton's?
I remember when I was a young fella, I played softball before I played cricket. We used to play down Tahuna. That was many, many years ago. And then they went once Saxton's got developed, that's where softball went. So it's still out there now.
No, so after Tahuna, they went to Richmond.
Oh, okay, yeah. There's
Jubilee
one out
Park.
Jubilee Park. Yeah.
Jubilee Park, that's right.
Yeah.
Then after that, they went to Lower Saxton's Field by the creek.
Yes.
So they had one skin diamond,
Yeah.
and every foul ball that went into the creek, it's probably still there now. Then the vision of people like John Brown, Alex Oliver,
Yes.
Daryl Stratford,
Yes.
those guys came together and had a meeting, and they formed a little subcommittee to make sure that the diamonds that we get with the council's help is up where we are right now. Now we've got really good complex up there, 4 back-to-back skin diamonds.
4.
You can actually stand in the middle under the gazebo and watch 4 games. And it's awesome. On a Saturday afternoon and the sun's shining, it's beautiful to be.
So that's back up behind the hockey stadium. Hockey.
Right next door.
Right next door.
Right next door.
4 of them.
And you've got a club rooms looking over the diamonds, haven't
That's it.
you?
Yeah. So we share
yeah.
the club rooms with hockey. We've got a really good working relationship with them. You know, if we need something done, like we don't have a function,
Yeah.
we get to hire the club rooms and the bars there, the food's there. It's awesome. It's
Really
really fun.
state of the art. It's a beautiful complex, softball.
So was there a lot of
Absolutely.
money to set that up, or was it just all self-funded, or the council helped out? You raised the money?
The council did have a big say, and they put a lot of money into it. Yes, Nelson Softball were not that financially
No.
great, but they did contribute.
That's just the reason I say that we struggle to get an artificial pitch in Nelson. the football. So, but that's good. They're looking after softball.
Well, I'll tell you how many years this went back, because I was involved in Nelson softball in my early 20s. I would have to say I was only really young, and they, well, I'm 56 now, so you can tell how long ago that was. And there was a guy from Sport Tasman, forget who he was, and he had a session with Nelson softball about Ideal World. In fact, he had it with each club, and that was held at Saxton. So it was early days of those Saxton days. And he said, let's just have no barriers. What would you like to see? And I think pretty much from those ideas then, they prioritised them. Potentially that's where that subcommittee would have been formed and started planning. So planning was done many moons ago, and that's how long it took. And there would have been lots of discussions, individual fundraising, but of course, there'll be some community funding there, I'm sure, but of course council funding would have been involved. So a lot of planning went into that. Yeah, long time ago.
A long time ago.
Yes.
Both councils?
Well, it would have to be, but there is a proportional split, and I don't know what that split is. But
you're right on the seat. You're right on the fence there, aren't you?
Yeah.
Saxton, she's just
Right
about
on the borderline.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get anyone in trouble, but I believe it's slightly weighted to more towards Nelson funding a bit more of it. But I could be wrong. Don't shoot me down, TDC.
No.
But there was a hell of a lot of planning that went into that. But now you've got one of the most the best grounds in the country, haven't you?
We certainly have, and we've got a really good groundsman. He does a great job out there.
Yeah.
I just want to give him good thanks. Thank you, Duck.
Right.
Oh, that's you, Doug. Good on you, son.
Another job.
He does everything.
Do everything.
Okay. Tell us about the state of softball in the region at the moment.
We were plateauing for quite a while, just flatlining, just cruising along. Now we're on the rebound, going the other way. We're getting more kids involved. We've got a T-ball session starts on a Monday, and it's free. And what happens with that? We have 8 teams turn up. So I, as a coordinator of sport, I take them for a run. I take them for a stretch. We have a little sprint, and I break them into classes or groups, give them a coordinator, and away they go for an hour.
Right.
So while that's happening, primary school are training on one of the diamonds for an hour. And after that is our under 13s, which now play on a Saturday. So we've gone from having 2 T-ball teams to senior softball. We've got 8 T-ball teams, intermediate team, primary school, and hopefully next year we can get a college grade system going. So then we start working backwards again, get the colleges up and running, intermediate, primary, and T-ball. So there's going to be a slow progression. So at the moment, we're looking pretty healthy, and it's good.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Would you say that kind of mirrors New Zealand softball at the moment? Because we had the heady heights, of course, the Sorensen days, and Marty Grant and all those guys that were winning world championships, and it kind of fell off the radar a little bit. Is that mirroring what's happening with New Zealand softball at the moment?
Yes, I do believe you are right, but it takes a lot of people to make the game flow, not just one person. You get a good committee like what we've got right now. That's the reason why we're going forward.
Right. Yeah.
New Zealand softball, I was fortunate to be at the awards, and there was something. What you just said was something that the CEO said, that we've let things go to the just let them go when we need to grow is to let them go. So that's good.
Yeah.
It's a great motto, isn't it? Grow the game.
Grow
the game.
That's what it's all about.
So in growing the game, what are your major challenges, and what are the positives that come out of that for you?
A major challenge would be getting quality coaches, people who've played the game, scored the game, or umpired the game, that just stop. So the kids will turn up, and it's left down to the one person or 2 people to coach 6 teams. If we have more people putting back into the sport, and the people that put back into the sport get my biggest admiration, I think, thank you very much, rather than just walk away. So the biggest challenge is finding more coaches.
Yeah,
So
development.
volunteers is always difficult in any sport.
Well, maybe that could be a role for you, Don, if you looked at, to say, the parents coming in and you coach them to coach the kids.
That's a possibility.
Yeah, that's what I'd be looking at from.
But some of the
My
parents,
point of
you know what they do? They drop the kids and run. So
Yeah,
I'm an unpaid, glorified
I know.
babysitter.
I had a situation where in intermediate school years at Nelson Prep, my daughter and a group of girls decide that they wanted to give softball a go. So we went out to Saxon and had this team, and it was upon me as a volunteer father to sort of help try and coach them, something I didn't know a lot about, but there's some basics in sport that you got to practice.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, so a couple of other dads got involved, and we had a great time. And at the end of the year, I'm going, righto, girls, let's come again next year. And they went, no, we've done that. I was so disappointed. I really like that game, and I like being out there in the sun at Saxon.
So the Nelson rep softball teams,
Yes.
do you coach them?
Yes.
Yeah, you do the whole lot.
We do. Well, Nikki and I do.
Yeah.
I'll talk about Nikki in a second, but talk about the reps.
Yeah.
What we've got going at the moment is our under 17 program. They've got 3 tours. We've got one that starts in 2 weeks' time in Christchurch for the Mainland Shield. They come back up here for December the 17th. They're playing against the New Zealand Development Sox teams
Oh,
at
wow.
Paxton's Field, Sunday the 17th, 2:00 and 4:00. We've already got our chief umpire on board with 2 other people to umpire, so that's a good start.
Wow.
Now, I spoke to the coach on Monday night about it. He goes, fantastic. You've got umpires. All right, we've got players. We're going to make it happen. So they're starting of their South Island tour, starting in Nelson with a double header. They go off to Christchurch and they're carrying around the country.
Wow.
After that, we actually go to Christchurch again for the under 17 national tour, which I think we'll do quite well. We'll compete, and which is fantastic. With our men's rep program, that starts with the Jubilee and Jeffrey Cup on December the 2nd. That's all the South Island teams come together to play the Jubilee and Jeffrey's Cup in Christchurch. Unfortunately, we don't have a women's team. They've left it a little bit too late to try and find a coach and players. But me saying a few nice words to a few of them, say, well, why don't you look at it for next season now?
Yeah.
And start early. Start in June when we're told about it, and so you can go. I said, oh yeah, okay, next year, which is good.
Good. So what are some of the future developments you're looking forward to and hoping to put in place there at Saxton?
I would like to see us have a national tournament here. We're slowly getting the committee behind us to actually get it done. But as I said to you before, it's not about 1 or 2 people. We need 10 to be the core to get the tournament running.
Because you used to have, what was it called, Fast Pitch? You used to have a pre-season Fast Pitch tournament.
There was the 3 Rings tournament.
Was it?
Run by Marty Grant? Yes.
Right.
Yeah. The 3 Rings, because he won a World Series in 96, 2000, and 2004.
Right.
So that's how that actually came about.
Yeah. But there's nothing on that front in Nelson at the moment.
No, right. But we've looked at running slow pitch tournaments that weekend. Slow pitch is going to take off. We went from 4 teams when we first started 6 years ago.
What is it? What's the difference?
Well,
Slow pitching.
Yeah, well, that's a good way of putting it. But it's not a fast pitch. So it's not a windmill fast action. What it is, it's more of a lob.
Yeah.
You lob it in, it must go over their shoulders, and there's a home plate down there, lands on the home plate over their shoulders, it's a strike.
Yeah.
And to speed it up, you only have 3 strikes.
Right.
You can foul 3 times, and you're out. Next batter in, please. And there's no bunting, and there's no stealing, there's no sliding. And if you're off the base and the ball's there before you, you're out. You get caught, you're out.
So this is more like a social league, would you say?
Social league, yeah.
Right.
And it was funny as last night. It looked like it was going to rain, and I said to Nikki, "Oh, we're going to cancel." She said, "No, we're going to play." What a night! It was so neat out there. People were laughing and clapping and cheering.
Because isn't it one of the biggest sports in USA now?
It's
Softball.
No, slow pitch. Just about every local park's got a slow pitch
Oh, okay.
tournament going on, isn't it? It's one of the biggest sports in that social
It is.
arena.
They in the States, they actually don't use what we use. We use a senior flexible here. They use a real ball over there.
Right.
And I've watched a couple of YouTube videos where the pitcher is wearing a mask,
Oh,
a cup, and leg protectors because the ball comes off the bat so quick. And you see them actually get hit and actually fall over. So imagine if they didn't have that gear on.
Yeah.
That's all about the safety, isn't it?
yeah.
So you mentioned her several
I
times.
know. I was just going to say.
Tell us about Nikki.
All right, Nikki is
and also your other volunteers.
Nikki is the backbone of Nelson softball. She really has got a finger in all the pies. Anything that anybody wants done, they go straight to Nikki. If you can't make a training, you go straight to Nikki. You want to get something organized, you go straight to Nikki. And just her vision of the whole game itself, it's her little ideas that come up with the T-ball on a Monday night now, not on a Saturday. Monday night, and it's free on a Monday. So from that went from the T-ball, and she said, okay, next one, which is in primary school and intermediate. So her vision, and around the slow pitch, she started that up 6 seasons ago. She said, let's do something different. Let's do that. And just her knowledge around the game as well. You know, she was a very good player in the day. She's not playing now, but she wants to get back into it. And I think good on you.
Yeah.
You know, she's only young. She's only 50.
Totally
I told you.
totally organised.
Totally organised. Yes.
Yeah.
Anything. Even with our
Passion. She's got the passion. Yeah, you need people like that.
Yeah, and she wears a lot of hats. Just to show you another hat she wears, that I'm the president of and national secretary and treasurer of New Zealand United. So
Right.
So she does all my work for me. I'm just the face and the voice when we go to our tournaments. And in fact, the tournaments here in Nelson, Easter weekend, there'll be 16 to 20 teams coming here playing fast pitch softball.
Geez, your kitchen table must be like a full-on office, paper everywhere, is there?
Oh no, the kitchen table's for food.
It's good.
Office is over there.
All right, that's fantastic, Duck. And let's have a look at the Nelson softball draw for this weekend. And it starts on Diamond 3 at 10 a.m. So tell us about the lineup.
Well, this is a concept, another one that Nikki's come up with. This is our under 13 grade. Now they train with me at 5:15 on a Monday. After I finish the T-ball, I go straight there. And this week we had a pitcher catcher clinic. Everybody pitched, everybody caught, and we just swapped them all around. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. So now they get to go play in a game. The first week we played 2 weeks ago, we had a batting machine. The batting machine threw the ball strikes. Everyone got hits. Last weekend, batting machine was for 1 round. Then I stood on the middle and I pitched the ball. And from that, all got hits, and it was fantastic. This week, we're getting the kids to pitch. So there's a slow progression. They get to see the batting machine, they get to see an adult pitch, and they get to see a kid pitch. Then they start to grow the game.
Nice.
Like I've targeted a couple of people to be catchers. Now I've seen what they can do at catcher. Now I don't want to catch anymore. I see what you can do. Get in the outfield.
Yeah.
You know, play somewhere different. So that's what this development game is all about on
And
Saturday.
we've got the USC Astros taking on Waimea Intermediate.
Yeah, that's them. They're a mixture of boys and girls. And the school levels are from, oh my God, to you're going to get better. And some are okay. But the more you train them and the consistent trainings, the better they're going to get.
Diamond 1 in the senior women, 12 o'clock, USC Blackhawks versus the Purple Eagles. 2 o'clock, Marist Wairua.
Yeah.
Your club, theirs.
Want to just give my ladies a shout out, Coco and Ange, Kathy. Yep, play well, get a win.
They're taking on USC R&B. So tell us about the Women's League at the moment.
The Women's League is it's not strong. They don't have strong pitches. They have girls who wind their arms over and put the ball in there to be hit, which is what you need. There's nothing worse than playing watching a women's game of softball, and it's walk, hit pitch, another walk, hit pitch. What they want to see is strikes, hit the ball and run. So we've got 3 young girls in my Blackhawk. I coach the Blackhawks. We've got 3 young girls in there that I'm showing how to pitch this year. Next year, I want to split them up.
Right.
So there's the progression.
Yeah.
To have 3 pitches, you need to have three catches. So in that first round, I'm picking the Blackhawks and the Eagles. That'll be a very good game.
Is that a club? The Eagles?
Yeah, that's
an
old Stoke.
Stoke Club.
Stoke Club. That'll be a good game. They're both strong hitters. Both have got pitchers that can throw strikes. Wairua, the Marist girls, they should beat R&B. R&B are just some people that have come together, some mature people and some young people. I've been trying to get to come to one of my trainings just to show them some fundamentals. A couple turn up and it's good, and they get to have a hit and they get to throw and that which is kind of good.
Diamond 2, 12 o'clock. We've got the Saints Rams versus the USC Cardinals. And then that's a double header for the Saints Rams because at 2:00 they take on the USC Pirates. And at 12:00 Diamond 3, the Stoke Eagles versus USC Titans. So how's the senior men going at the moment?
Good,
Yep.
very good. The Saints Rams are from Blenheim. They don't have a men's competition over there, but
Right.
they've been playing in our competition the last 3 years. And some of those boys, young Willem, who's their pitcher, I took away or went away with our USI under 15 team. That was 3 years ago. Now he's pitching senior ball. He pitched 2 games last week against the USC Titans, who went over there and played doubleheader. He pitched both games.
Yeah, well,
So I'll look forward to seeing how he goes this week because he's playing against our Cardinals.
Very
Now,
good.
our Cardinals is my under 17 team.
right.
So this is good for them to
Mm.
play against men because when they get to play in 2 weeks down in the mainland Shield,
So-
we're playing guys their own age. When they play in the South Island tournament, which is in Christchurch in January, they should be fine, ready to go.
Mm.
And thrown in between that is that, of course, is that Sox game, the development Sox game on December the 17th. So they're going to have three bites of that cherry.
Who seems to be leading the charge in the senior men at the moment?
Saints are.
Saints are.
Yeah,
Right,
Saints are, and then there's Eagles, then there's Titans,
Yep.
then there's the Cardinals and the Pirates. That's the team that I play in and train with. We haven't won a game yet.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So looking at this, there seems to me to be 4 clubs. There's United,
Yep.
Stoke, Saints from Blenheim, and now the introduction of Maris Wairua. So do you like the fact that there's a 4th club coming in? Do you see it as being good for the game?
I think it's fantastic that they've done it.
More the
Those-
merrier.
Oh, for sure. My vision eventually is to ensure that there's another 2 more teams come in, or sorry, 2 more clubs come in.
Right.
It doesn't matter what it is or how it looks like, but that's what we're there to help to make sure that they do it right. And that's why I like Coco and them. They used to play for our club last year, and then this winter they decided they wanted to go to Marist, form a softball club. So they contacted Mickey, and we all spoke. This is what you need to do. They struggled a bit, then all of a sudden it's all falling into place, and it's fantastic.
So if they could get a men's team in, you'd be delighted.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that could be your job.
Well,
Oh, well,
I
I-
certainly want to help them.
We'll have to get
Please.
the arm going.
Oh,
Les.
you
Yeah.
mean help as in? Hey, I'd like to be administrator like Duck.
Oh, right.
Well, I just see the name Maris there, so that's
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
That's Lee's
That's
Mar-
why I'm beating the drum here. This is Maris.
The Maris
Sports
men.
Club. Yeah.
Maris men,
The
yes,
Maris
I could see that actually happening. I mentioned a name to you before. I spoke to Quaid last night, and yes, there's like Sarita's boy DJ. There's 2. There's a guy that used to play for Waimea in '99. He's just come back. There's 3. They all
Marty
play.
Grant has a son, Cooper.
Cooper, I think he's gone to baseball.
Yeah, well, we'll have to get him into softball.
Turn him back. Hey, look, Doug, thank you very much for coming in, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure. You've got a lot on your plate, but obviously passionate about the game. It's always the people with passion that seem to be the drivers, like you and Nicky behind the wheel. And great to see the game in good hands and growing, on the comeback, which is fantastic. So thank you very much for coming in.
Oh no, thank you very much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Your summer sport, and let's get on to local cricket and the draw for this weekend. And I believe PB's been doing a bit of homework, but the lineup I've got here is Wakatu New World Nelson City taking on MBS Athletic College Old Boys Premiers. That's on Saturday at 10:30 at Victory Square. So this is the 2 days, isn't it?
well, they had the first round of the 2 days was completed on Saturday. I'll just quickly go through the results because the boys would probably like to hear how their clubs got on. Wakatu against Toi Toi. Wakatu won that by 7 wickets in the end. They were chasing 212 to win the game. They got it 3 down. So Bud Jackson 78, Campbell McLean 71 not out. And the other game, Stoke Nayland against Wanderers Motueka. I think they were chasing 204 to win Wanderers Motueka. They were 204 all out. Cameron McLean got 61 and Cole Packy 31. So Stoke Nayland won by 2 runs in the end.
Yeah,
So it was actually
wow.
quite a close game. It was the first day was rather interesting. And Cameron named 3 for 25 and Liam Clark 3 for 63. Got the wickets there for Stoke. In the last game, I think College Old Boys played Athletic College Old Boys. Going into day 2, College had a 16-run lead, but they were 182 all out in the second innings. Young Kurt Ward, great little sportsman, this fella, he got 92. Glenn Bomfield 3 for 40, James Monday 2 for 39. And so AOB were chasing 199 to win the game. They got it 5 down. So Sam Burkett 42 not out, and Kate Gaging, a female player, really good player.
Oh wow,
45 not out.
Oh, wow,
Senior
how's
cricket
that?
men's at the weekend. So just looking at those points after the one round, Stoke Naylor on 19.7, ACOB 14, Wakatu 13.2, Nelson College 9.5, Toy 1.9, and Wanderers Mott 7.3. I'm not too sure how they work out this such point.
no,
But I did ask Mark Gill, and he goes, Paul, I need to explain that to you another day, because he's not too sure. And he's the cricket guru, I think. So, but no, you're right with the draw. So yeah, Wakatu ACOB, Wanderers Mott versus Toy, and Nelson College versus Stoke Nayland this weekend. That's a 2-day game.
yeah. And all the details are on Nelson Cricket Association website. Stoke, Wakatu, and Waimea Toy leading the way. College got some points.
Good.
Yeah, so they're on the climb. They're on the comeback.
Well,
there.
first
So-
innings points, I assume.
Yes,
from
they
what-
did.
Yeah.
Yes, they won on the
PV
first
said.
innings.
Yeah.
So that all counts.
New Zealand cricket fixtures coming up, national and international, and this is recorded on a Thursday. So tonight, 9:30 p.m. New Zealand time, Black Caps versus Sri Lanka, a must win after that. Well, what did we make? 400 and something, and then Pakistan blew us off. Our bowling just hasn't been up to scratch.
Yeah, well, a lot of bowlers, or a couple of important bowlers missing, but I also think they knew the rain was coming, and they just went the tonk and won on Duckworth Lewis. So, but I must say it was exciting watching our team put on 400 runs.
Yeah, no, it was a good. That game on Saturday night was certainly. I went to bed. No, we got 400, but
Yep.
was sweet as here.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
woke up, and of course, the guy that got 126 or 80 he doesn't normally play. He can't actually make the Pakistan first 11, so he
Jeez,
certainly had a
how's
point
that?
to prove. And he came out left-handed and just completely smashed it. So, very unlucky there that Duckworth Lewis. Well, you can't play cricket in the rain.
So
Well, you can try.
the scenario is that obviously we have to beat Sri Lanka, but there's a couple of other things we have to rely on too, isn't it? Because we've got to make sure that Pakistan are playing England, and England beat the Netherlands, which is probably not unusual, but maybe that means they're coming back into a little bit of form, perhaps, and might tip up
They
Pakistan.
can't make the playoffs.
No.
No, but what I
no,
mean is,
yeah.
if England beat Pakistan,
Yeah.
that knocks them out of contesting for New Zealand's 4th place.
Mm.
And the other one is Afghanistan is also on equal points with us.
Well,
we're
I
we're
think-
higher in run rate,
I
aren't
think
we?
they play South Africa though,
Yes, they do.
so they'll struggle there. But Australia certainly did us a favour yesterday with that fantastic innings from Glenn Maxwell.
Oh, that was unbelievable, wasn't it?
They call him the Big Show, and that's his nickname. And he certainly, that was the Big Show.
What was it? 92 for 7. No, 92. The 92 for 7 runs when he came in, or
Very close to that.
or it
91
got to
for
that.
7. Well, he
Yeah.
got dropped twice. He was a bit lucky, but
Yeah,
you're right. You're
He
lucky.
basically got the 200 they needed
Hmm.
on his own. I
Mhm.
don't think Cummins scored too many.
12
in
of
support.
68.
Mm.
The thing about the Black Caps tonight is if it does rain out and there's no result, I think they get a point each, which is probably
Right.
don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
But I imagine if it's a draw, it's a point each. And then if Pakistan beat England,
Yeah.
we're gone bigger, basically.
yeah.
So we hope we get some cricket tonight.
Jeez,
and,
we started so well too, didn't we? But
well, that's right.
Mm.
But it is what it is. But
okay, Les, rugby, and there's some Super Rugby signings.
Yeah, so today, Thursday, was an exciting day. Over the course of the day, they announced the Super Rugby squad. So every team's been announced, and I just thought I'd highlight the 22 Tasman Marco players have been selected for Super Rugby. No
Fantastic.
new ones, but and a couple shifting clubs. But there's no with Alex Nankivell and Atu Molly having left the Chiefs, we've got no players in the Chiefs,
yeah.
so they've got no support. Fijian Drua, Tiahi Waru Tharika Davida, He's again representing them, so they've got one player. The Highlanders, they've gone down from 8 Marco to 5. So Hugh Renton, Luca Inch, Max Hicks, Pari Parkinson return, and Timothy Tavatavanawa is a new addition from Moana Pacifica.
Yeah, right.
Moana Pacifica, that's quite interesting. Sam Molly returns, and then they've got Viliami Napa'a from Muturi.
Oh, right.
Oh, I
Wow.
better be careful.
Right.
Be Renwick.
Okay.
From Marlborough.
Yeah.
He was a Marco 2 seasons ago.
Okay.
This season injured.
Yeah.
But he's a big lad, and he's been picked as a lot forward for Moana. Really rate the kid. He's a terrific rugby player. Sione Havili Talitui goes from the Crusaders to Moana.
Now, why is that?
He's decided that's
what he
where
wants to
what
play.
he wants to do.
Fair enough.
Yep. Now Miracle Whailangi is in the side. Now you might wonder why I'm calling him a Marco, but he was actually contracted in 2023 by the Tasman Marco, but was then immediately selected for Samoa and then went on the World Cup. So never got to Nelson, but he is the Tasman Marco. And I would assume that they've contracted him for more than 1 year. So I'm counting him
Yeah.
as a Tasman Marco.
We'll let you have that one.
Thank you. Willie Havili is
on
back at first 5, and he's really growing, I think, as a first 5'8". And then there's an interesting little story. So named in the wider development squad for Moana Pacifica is a guy called Kyron Taumoi Falau. Now he's from Muturi. He's only young. He got picked for Tonga Sevens. Then he got picked for the Tonga in the Rugby World Cup. So he's a Muturi kid
Wow.
who's gone to a Rugby World Cup. Now, I don't know if he's contracted with the Tasman Marco, but I would hope so.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to let good young local talent like
He's
that
in
go.
the region.
But he's in the region. He's in their wider training. Hurricanes, 1 player, Tyrell Lomax. The Blues with 2, Anton Segner and Finlay Christie. And then our local franchise, of course, the Crusaders, Quinn Strange, Ethan Blackadder, Noah Hotham, David Havili, Will Jordan, Macca Springer, and Sevu Reese all return. And Levi Amua joins the ranks.
Anyone from the Marco wider training group, current 15, that hasn't made it that you probably think that should? Has someone missed it? Tane Robinson?
Yeah, that's the one name
Yeah,
I was going to say. But I would suggest to you, although he wasn't named today as a Crusader squad member, he's definitely in that wider training development group. So yeah,
I see the Crusaders have brought in Lee Halfpenny from Wales.
Yeah, and I don't.
Which means someone else misses out.
Yeah, I don't see the value, but clearly they do, and they must see him as an old head to provide some guidance.
The rumour I heard is that he wants to get into coaching, and he has a bit to do with Rob Penny, who's been overseas coaching, so that might be something. But what disappoints me, we bring these guys in from overseas, and it just means a local guy misses out.
Yep, and they're talking about him because he's a 100-game fullback for Wales. They're talking about him as being potentially a backup first 5. That's Tane Robinson's position. So I just don't understand it, but they've done it before and they'll do it again.
Well, they asked him on the radio about his position. He said 15, which is Will Jordan's jersey. But maybe
I like what PB just said there, because that sort of inside knowledge is quite useful to put it into context. He probably does have a connection with Rob Penny and can assist in that coaching space or mentoring.
Where he gets game time, I don't know. They pick 38 players. It's a lot of players. They have a lot of injuries, but there's just opportunities for everyone. I just see, is it the boy Chapman halfback?
No, he'll be in that wider group.
Okay. All right. I'm just trying to think. No one else?
No, I think that, there's a couple there that are going to really have to lift their game. I think, or get game time. Luca Inch is one. So he's a boy who's going to have to probably get some propping time. And the other one is, I think Pari Parkinson needs to have a really good year to just prove that he's a value as a big lot forward. There's some there that would have All Black aspirations, of course, Quinn Strange, and then the regulars, and they need big seasons. So let's see how they travel. But the days of 1, 2, 3 Tasman Marco in Super Rugby now consistently around the.
No, that's a great representation.
It's basically the Marco squad, isn't it?
Congratulations to
Yeah.
all sundry. Yeah,
Yeah.
well done.
National Football League and the women's competition. We generally follow Canterbury. Canterbury United are taking on CF Wellington United, and but they're a little bit down the table, Paul, at the moment, so things haven't quite gone their way.
No.
And CF Wellington, though, well, they're not. They're a bit down the table too, aren't they? Wellington United, where are they? They are about mid-table, so they're not too far away from them. So maybe an opportunity there.
No, I watched a bit of it on YouTube. It's good. Standards actually quite good. Not a bad competition.
Men's competition in Christchurch United, it's the derby against Cashmere Technical. And in actual fact, Christchurch United and Cashmere sitting third and fourth, and Christchurch not that far, well, 4 points behind Wellington Olympic. So
Well, it's quite funny. This is probably about the fifth time they played each other this season. Of course, they play each other in the Southern League, home and away.
yeah,
They're playing in the National League. I think they played each other in the Chatham Cup, and then they played themselves in the English Cup, which that was
Yes,
actually that
yes.
final was played after our game when we played University down there a month or so ago. So, but yeah, I see Christchurch United got burnt at the weekend, son. They lost to the Greeks in Wellington 5-2.
yeah, right.
So I wouldn't say, and they had players sent off, or Olympic had players sent off, I think. So I'm not saying the wheels have fallen off, but I think they're probably starting to get a bit tired.
Yes, you were saying last week.
Yeah.
Well, it's a long season,
Very long
you know,
season.
So, but
But the guys that aren't so tired, another 5-2 result. Wellington Phoenix men beating the Brisbane Roar 5-2. They're taking on Melbourne Victory tomorrow night.
well, that was a great result. Well, the girls
Yeah.
beat Brisbane beforehand, and the
Yes.
men won 5-2. So they've looked at one stage. They're both those teams at the top of the table. I think Adelaide are top of the men's because they played later that evening against Western Sydney Wanderers. But no, that was a fantastic one. And he's joined the Oscar Zawada, the Polish striker. He's scored a hat trick. He's number 4, I think. He's up there with Krishna and Rocky or someone like that. So look, they're doing all right. They're actually doing better than I thought they would. And the other news too was the ex-Phoenix coach Ufuk Tali.
Yes.
He's just signed for Sydney FC.
So now what club was it Melbourne City got rid of their coach after like 2 rounds?
Yes, he got sacked. 2 rounds.
God.
I'll tell you what. Well, yeah, it's a tough league.
Yeah.
And Sydney's after 3 rounds, Karaka, but he's been there 19 years. I didn't think he'd last that long. Funny thing about Sydney FC, well, it's a long time. There's a player and a coach, but all their preseason games, they never lost a game.
Yeah, right.
And now they come in the league and they lose 3 in a row. It's
Yeah.
like FC this year saying we won no preseason games and we won all our league games. So whatever it takes. But Ufuk Tali's he's taken over the reins at Sydney FC.
Yeah. Go the Phoenix, and the women actually playing Western United. That's on Sunday at 4 p.m. after that great win against Brisbane Roar. They're travelling really well. Things on this weekend, so get your mountain bikes ready. It's the cross-country series for 2023, round 3, this time at Kaiteri. And it's the final course to be decided. Yeah, I don't think that was an all welcome, but you can check the Nelson Mountain Bike Club website for that one. And athletics, here's one for Les and PB. The pub runs are back for the summer series, and starting off at the Prince Albert, and 7K new course along the Maitai Walkway. Everyone welcome, including walkers. Race starts at 3:45 for walkers, early runners, and 4 o'clock unless otherwise advised. NelsonAthletics.co.nz, and hope everyone went well with the marathon, the half marathon on Sunday. You seen any runners out and about on the weekend? No,
I didn't actually.
Yeah.
Can't remember last Sunday.
And there was our mayor and Andrew Board and Kim Nafika, and I don't know the fourth person involved in the team. They just took on the New York Marathon, the full 42K. How's that?
Yeah, and they I believe they all complete completed it. So congratulations there.
Yeah.
Heck of an effort. Andrew Board was the quickest of the four.
Yes.
But yeah, the mayor's delighted, of course, because he did finish, and that's a heck of a good achievement.
Mm.
So on the mayor's post, he said he did it in 5 hours.
Yep.
Rod Dixon in 1982, or when he won it,
Mm.
it was 2 hours and 8 or something. And interestingly, the winner on this year's race was 2 hours and 4. So the difference between the 80s, Rod Dixon's time, and current winner, not that far away. And Kim Ngāwheka got stuck in a lift on the way to the
That's
marathon
right.
and had to be rescued by the New York Fire
Oh
Brigade.
my God.
And
Which
still
I-
ran, right?
Which still ran. I'm sure she was quite happy with that, and in
Yeah.
fact took a selfie with them in the lift. So-
Exactly.
Unbelievable.
You'll get the calendar later.
yeah, that's right. So congratulations to them and raising some good money for Kids Marathon. So that's it, gentlemen. Thank
Yeah,
you very
awesome.
much. That's everyone up to date. We'll have another guest next week. Don't forget.
It's good to talk softball, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look, Don Glennie, I've known him for a number of years, and
Yeah.
well, softball's, it's a big sport. It doesn't get the big like other major
No.
sports like football, rugby, and cricket and that sort of thing. But,
But it's
he's
had
he's
got a
done
big
great
history,
job.
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's got a big history. And the other thing is heavily involved in local rugby league. So, he's
Don is?
yeah. So,
okay.
so he
Jack of all trades.
jack of all trades. So
he
he's just thrown himself
Drives
in
the
there.
truck over the hill every day. Christ, how does he do it?
It's always the way, isn't it, though, eh? The people that throw themselves into running sport, they have to practically do anything. He said he used to ring up Peter Barr to find out what grounds were available that rugby union weren't using. He'd organise the games. He'd take over all the flags, all the uniforms for both teams,
God.
and then he'd ref 2 games and then pack it all up and then go home just to keep rugby league going. And eventually we did have, was it the Titans, wasn't it? We representative team, but alas, not at the moment. So
No,
we'll see what happens with league.
Sport
Oh,
that
that's in
the
fluctuates.
future.
It
Yeah,
does. It comes and goes.
Yeah.
No consistency,
yeah.
unfortunately.
Tough time. It's a tough road. All right. Thank you to my co-host Paul Bryan, Les Edwards, and our special guest Don Glennie, president of Nelson Softball Association. If you do have any summer sports notices to push in the show, just comment or message in the Talk Nelson Facebook page. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you again next week.
What's on, where, and when? It's the Talk of Nelson. Talk Nelson Radio.